What's going on, guys? My name is Royalty, and today I'm going to be bringing you a $725 PC build that can play Battlefield 4 60 frames per second and 1080p on pretty much all high settings. Started off, we're going to go with the AMD FX 8320. This is a 3.5 GHz octa-core processor, and its bigger brother, the 8350. The only advantage over this is that it has it's clocked at 8.5 GHz. 4 gigahertz. This is at 3.5 gigahertz. So it has 0.5 gigahertz faster, but you can easily overclock this to 4 gigahertz. The cooler that I'm going to be mentioning soon. To the graphics card, we're going to go with the AMD R9 This graphics card comes from Gigabyte. It is clocked. It is OC'd factory default. It's 975 when it's normally 950 megahertz. But you can overclock it very easily with this WindForce 2X cooler to 1050 megahertz. In the memory, you can overclock that to 1500 megahertz. And it gives you like a 5 frames per second increase in Battlefield 4, which is pretty nice, in my opinion. For the motherboard, we're going to be going with the Asus M5A97R 2.0. This is an AM3 Plus socket, which this is supported by the FX 8320. That's kind of why you get it. It's cheap and reliable, and it gets the job done. It doesn't really have too many bells and whistles. It has USB 3, which is good, and it has I don't recommend cross-firing with this because the second PCI Express 16X slot only runs at 8X, so you're gonna get half the performance pretty much. For the RAM, we're going to go with one 8GB DIMM of Crucial Ballistic Sport. The reason we're going with one is because you can upgrade to 16 in the future, which, it's always good to future-proof your system. So 16 gigs of RAM is good. For the cooler, we're going with the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. This is a great cooler. It is used almost everybody who has built a computer has at least thought about buying this cooler. It is pretty cheap. You can get it for around $35, and it cools the crap out of things. I have my 8320 overclocked to 4 gigahertz, and it runs idle. It runs at around 20 degrees Celsius, which is really good. In game, it gets up to about 60 if I'm really pushing the settings and playing for a while. So keeps things cool when they're under load. For the power supply, we'll be going with the Corsair CX500M. This is a 500 watt power supply, as suggested by the name. It's modular, which is nice, so you can hide the cables better and you use the cables that you need. It is 500 watts, which is plenty for this system, but if you want to crossfire or add multiple hard drives, you should definitely get a better power supply. But this is good just for this build. And for storage, you have two options here. You can use a Western Digital Blue drive, 1 terabyte, or you can get a Kingston 120 gigabyte SSD if you already have a hard drive for mass storage. I don't suggest just doing an SSD because that's only 120 gigabytes, and that isn't enough really to do a lot of things. So it depends on what your current situation is. If you don't have a hard drive or an SSD, you can get the Western Digital Blue. It'll give you alright load times and stuff. It'll be much faster than consoles, but if you already have a hard drive that you want to use the 120 gigabyte SSD. And for the case, we're going to go with the Antec 1 case. This is really personal opinion. You could go for more money on the case, or you can go for less money. Or if you already have a case you want to build, then you could do that. But this is a solid case for a solid price. For watching this video, please leave a like if you enjoyed it, favorite if you really enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and see you guys later.